Hello lovely people, my name is Emma and today I'm going to be talking about the books I intend to read through the month of October. It's actually relatively early in September at time of filming, but I'm really needing to back film a load of stuff because of an exam I've got sort of mid-September, and it feels slightly crazy to be thinking about October given how unbelievably warm it is right now. It's literally 30 degrees and has been all bloody week. But I firmly believe that cold weather and spooky vibes are around the corner, so I have built a TBR with that in mind. So I've got 9 books to talk about today, and what I've also been doing is I've been having a little look at my to be read pile, the books I actually own, and what kind of category the books fall into, and then trying to work out a TBR spread that more accurately reflects the kind of books I have on my shelf, because I have an overabundance of non-fiction that I'm not necessarily getting through with the speed that I need to make it kind of an accurate turn, and a consistent turnover of books. So I've crunched my numbers, and with a TBR of 9 books we should be having 3 to 4 non-fiction, 3 to 4 fiction, and 2 classics. So that's kind of what we have today. We're going to talk about the classics first, and the first one I have is The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. This is such a gorgeous cover, and I will link the editions that they are down below. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I have a couple of Bond classics like this. And this, I believe, is about a gentleman who gets embroiled in a couple and becomes quite obsessed with them. I know that there's a Brad Pitt film, like one of his very early works. I don't actually know much about it as a plotline. I may watch the movie beforehand, but I need to start working through my classics, and this is just such a gorgeous cover, and I thought the idea of, you know, a slightly stalker obsessive vibe, kind of thrillery sort of screams to me a bit of an October. I think that was thunder. There's either thunder or really loud roadworks going on. We're gonna keep filming and just hope that it's all okay. The other one that I intend to read as my classic is The Murders of the Rue Morgue and Other Tales by Edgar Allan Poe. This is the Penguin English Library paperback edition, and I hate the colour scheme for this one. You would think, given that Edgar Allan Poe is like king of the goths, ultimate spooky dude, it wouldn't be bloody teal and pink, but what do you know. So yeah, like I said, Edgar Allan Poe is like hardcore gothic king, and I've really read nothing of his. I know of his work, obviously I know The Raven, but it's about time that I actually read some of his work. Short stories are a bit hit and miss. Not overly keen on them most of the time, but I'm willing to give it a go, and like I say, I need to start getting through some of these books. Okay, we're going to talk about the non-fiction now, and the first one I have on audiobook and on Kindle, and I do intend to bounce between the two, and that is Life on the Edge by Jim Al-Khalili. This is a look at quantum biology. Yeah, I know, I have no idea what that means either. I actually started this in between a few exams like a solid year ago and got maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in, and was super psyched about it and was like really enjoying it. It was kind of having a conversation about like how animals can sense electromagnetic force fields. It was really, really fascinating, and it is, again, one that's been on my TBR forever. I'm trying to get through my back catalogue a bit more, so I'm excited by this, and I think it'll be good to bounce between them and kind of help me get through it. And then our other non-fictions, both of which you guys have seen recently because they were in my recent haul. Okay, I'm not fully just working through my back catalogue, is one of them is Below the Edge of Darkness by Dr. Edith Widder. This is about light and life in the deep sea, and I thought, what could be better for spooky, creepy vibes than all of the weird B-movie, horror movie-esque shit that lives at the bottom of the ocean. Like, I am so here for it. Anglerfish are straight out of a fucking horror movie. Like, I cannot wait to learn about all the weird shit that happens down below, and I think that this is going to be such a good read. I've heard really positive things about it. And one that's kind of a no-brainer for me is The Witches, Salem, 1692 A History by Stacy, Schiff. This is a double whammy because it is also in my Around the World in 12 non-fiction TBR, which I'm trying to do at least one every month, and that's where I'm trying to read from a wider selection of world history books. So this one is going to be for the US, for Salem, Massachusetts, and I figured, you know, it's about witchcraft. It's October. Duh. So I can't wait to do that one. Another witchy book that I'm really looking forward to getting to is The King's Witch by Tracy Borman. Tracy Borman is a fantastic writer who wrote Witches, which is a non-fiction book. How many times did I say witch in that sentence? About James I in the UK and his particular sort of like tirade against witchcraft, and this is a fictional story about a woman who is in the court at the kind of transition between his mother into James I. I think his mother was Queen Elizabeth, and so it's about kind of her place in society when she then gets accused of witchcraft. I have this one on audiobook as well, and I'm really looking forward to it. The narration sounds like it's gonna be great. And again, it's about witches. It's a duh, like, of course. 3 other fictions that I'm gonna try and get through. One of them is Downstation by Simon Morden. This is a book that has been on my TBR almost the longest. This has been on my TBR for at least 5 years now. This might even predate BookTube for me. And I don't really know much about it beyond it follows 3 or 4 different people. It's some kind of weird dystopian-y future sci-fi fantasy thing. The back says, instead of fire there was water. Absolutely no clue. And there's some mysterious person called Crows who apparently this revolves around. So I think it'll be fun. I'm digging the sort of freaky vibes. Yeah, it's now started raining. The weather is batshit. It clearly heard me and was like, you want spooky? Have a thunderstorm, bitch. Quit complaining about the summer. British people never get enough summer. Here you go, enjoy some rain. Another one that has been on my TBR for forever is The Solitaire Mystery by Jostein Gaardner. This is the author of Sophie's World, which is an incredible book that is kind of a fictional book but includes a lot of history of philosophy in it. Very good fun, was the reason I studied philosophy at university. It's probably the reason many people study philosophy at university. This is another one of hers. I've never read any of her other stuff, and I read that book like when I was a teenager. I picked this up super cheap at a library sale. It is about a 12-year-old boy who they're on like a journey to Greece to try and find his mother, and then a bunch of weird incidences occur. Jostein Gaardner writes a lot of like trippy sort of absurdist stuff. So again, I think it will be fun vibes for a bit of a spooky Halloween season, a little bit weird, and I don't really know what I'm going to be walking into, but I'm hoping it's going to be a similar vibe to Sophie's World. And then the final one is sort of a bit more of a classic gothic thriller, and that is Pine by Francine Toon. This is about a small town, so proper sort of small town folklore vibes, and a woman goes missing, and it's about a teenage daughter trying to kind of work out what happened to her. I don't read that many thrillers, so I thought this would be a really good one to go for, and I like the idea of, again, like a small town in the US surrounded by forest kind of vibe. It tends to get a load like quite freaky, so this felt like a good pick for me. So those are the books that I intend to get to in October. I'm sure that there'll be some drift over from September, and there'll be a few other things thrown in there as well. But yeah, do let me know what you think down below. Have you read any of these books? Are you a spooky reader when you get to October? I always like try to theme it, and then I get distracted by other shit as soon as the month rolls around, because I don't actually do that much for Halloween, and I'm not actually that bothered about it. Like, we don't decorate, I don't go trick-or-treating, we don't do anything for it, but it just seems like quite a nice excuse to get to all of the like spooky shit that is on my shelves and atmospheric books. So that's sort of the vibe here. I'm gonna go because I need to go and run around and close all the windows now that there is a storm brewing. Have a wonderful reading week, and I will chat to you soon. Bye.